How guys doing? Thank you for joining me here on SB 252. So the Fiesta Bowl has just come to a conclusion, and it was a boring contest for a good portion of this game, but eventually Washington was able, the Huskies, to make a good comeback against Penn State and really gave them a run for their money, but at the end of the day they came up short 35-28. Good win for Penn State. We're talking about a program that has really turned it around with Coach James Franklin over the last couple of seasons. Remember last year, teams thought that they might go to the playoffs. They really wanted to go to the playoffs, had 2 losses, won the Big Ten championship, but came up just short. The committee thought that they weren't good enough to get in. I personally thought that they were good enough, but at the same time, they had 2 losses. Well, this season, they wanted to come back stronger than ever. They said, well, we had 2 losses. Well, this year, we won't lose any. Well, that didn't happen because such a rough conference. If you want to know one of the best conferences in college football, other than the SEC, it's the Big Ten. They lost to Ohio State this year. Tough loss to Michigan State, who always is competitive with D'Antoni with his squad. It was a long game. They lost that one, came up short, but it was good to see him win at the Fiesta Bowl against a Washington Huskies defense that was stellar all season long. Remember, they're no slouch. They've only allowed 277 yards per game. And McSorley said, I don't care about that. He threw for 342 on the night. Now, he did have those 2 interceptions, was responsible for 3 turnovers. That's not what you're looking for, but that's still okay. And we're talking about also the running back who could have been a Heisman himself. I'm surprised he wasn't a Heisman candidate, Saquon Barkley. They should have made him a Heisman candidate. Great game today. We think about that 92-yard touchdown he had. Incredible, had 2 touchdowns on the game. Finished his career overall with 43 touchdowns at Penn State. Probably will be moving on now, going to the next level. As I said before, he really reminds me of Le'Veon Bell, and I don't just say that because he's from Pittsburgh, in Pennsylvania, number 26. He's a very versatile player. He can score in many different ways. He can do kickoff returns, rushing touchdowns, and also receiving touchdowns. I believe he had 3 receiving touchdowns this year, 16 rushing touchdowns as well. So a very solid year for him. 500 receiving yards, over 1,100 rushing yards, and 1,700 all-purpose yards. So we're talking about a running back that will probably be moving on. In Penn State, this particular era is probably over, so they're going to have to move forward. But I'm confident with Coach Franklin that they will be able to make something work. Now, from the Huskies' perspective, quarterback Browning, not the best performance. Now, I know he didn't turn the ball over, but you expect more. He kind of missed receivers. He wasn't in tune with the game. It seemed as if the stage was a little bit too bright for him. Maybe next time he'll be able to be a little better when the stage is on. But Penn State gets the huge win. Washington at the very end made this thing tight. Remember, they were down 28-7 at one point. They were down by 2 touchdowns again late in the 4th quarter, but they got their team together, rallied, and found a way to come back. Penn State missed that field goal, but at the end of the day, they did that hook and ladder at the very end of the game, and I was nervous. I thought that might have gone all the way. The receiver didn't know the situation. There was time still left on the clock. He could have ran out of bounds, and they would have had a chance at a deep pass. Although Browning, not known for having the strongest arm, they still could have tried to get a chance at the end zone, but they came up short. Penn State gets the win. Anyway, thank you guys for watching SB 252. Definitely excited for the college football playoffs. This is definitely warming things up for those playoff games in the new year. Talk to you guys later.